Azanji, the comment that the Sheikh mentioned that he is East African from Sawahil, from the Horn of Africa. Like in the other, he said that's the most famous opinion. The other opinion is that he was Arab. The reason why he was called Azanji or Azanji was the people that take their nisbah, Azanj or Zanuj, are people that are from Africa. But they also call people, let's say for example, if somebody is dark, for example. But on top of that, the opposite exists as well. So some of the scholars, when they were describing him, they said he was so light-skinned or so light that they gave him the opposite name. And who does that? The Somalis. You're going to see the darkest guy, and they're going to call him Muhammad Abd. You're thinking this guy is going to be a guy that's Arab. You see him, he's the darkest guy you know. And I know a couple of Addas. Not every Adda is, like my point being is, that similarity is what? The same nickname style they have in Somalia is the same nickname style they're having in Arab countries. Not yesterday, we're talking about 12, 13, 1400 years ago. Mahmoud's gone, I wish he could hear this, like inshallah we'll film afterwards. And two things I want to mention, inshallah, based off of what the Sheikh said, and inshallah I'm going to wrap it up with that. Then if anybody has any questions, they can ask questions. One thing I do want to mention is the Sheikh mentioned preserving history. He mentioned manuscripts a lot. He mentioned, for example, Rabi' ibn Salam al-Muradi being the only person, the only manuscript that we have of Kitab al-Risala, the oldest for sure that we have, and that was one time even stolen, but alhamdulillah gotten back, was the manuscript of Rabi' ibn Salam al-Muradi. The person who edited that manuscript was Ahmad al-Shakir. And it was said he was one of the only people that was able to read his type of handwriting from the area. Rabi' ibn Salam al-Muradi was a student of Imam al-Shafi'i. Usually when we think of students of knowledge, we're thinking of somebody who's already a strong student of knowledge, somebody who, if you're saying this is ashab, somebody who protected the madhab, you're thinking of already a sheikh himself, and you're going to think this guy's whole life was a alim, whole life was perfect. So when you hear stuff like preserve the ilm, you're thinking, if you're a student of knowledge, if you're not that good, you're going to think, that's not a message to me, that's a message to who? The strong student of knowledge. Rabi' Salam al-Muradi, when he was a student for Imam al-Shafi'i, in the beginning stages, at one point, Imam al-Shafi'i was explaining a dars, or explaining a kitab, and in the middle of the dars, Rabi' Salam al-Muradi said, I don't understand. So he repeated it, I don't understand. He repeated it, I don't understand. If I am teaching a class, or maybe Muhammad's teaching a class, or Khalid's teaching class, and you repeat one point or one mas'ala 2, 3, 4 times, then what's going to happen? You're going to think, okay, this guy, he's not at that level, or this guy, he needs a little back of work, or maybe you put him in the back burner, he can't catch up with these guys, or whatever the case is. Imam al-Shafi'i said, don't worry. Afterwards, they went home, and he said, I'm going to explain to you later. He explained the mas'ala 40 times. 40 times. Then he said to him, after number 40, he said, oh, now I understand. Then he said to him, Imam al-Shafi'i said, Ya Rabi', لو استطعت أن أطعمك هذا العلم لأطعمتك إياه. If I was able to feed you this knowledge, I would have fed you this knowledge. And this is what the Shaykh was referring to when he said Murabbi. Not just akhlaq, wanting the best for the student. He wanted the best for him. He didn't see him as an annoyance. He didn't see it as a problem. But from another aspect, if you look at it, Rabi' Sallam didn't give up. He didn't say, okay, Shaykh, khalas, I don't understand that. No. They both had patience for each other. If I were able to feed you this knowledge, I would have fed you this knowledge. Today it would have been, if I were able to airdrop you this knowledge, I would have airdropped you this knowledge. The only manuscript we have is what? From Al-Risala, the first book written in Usul al-Fiqh, Rabi' Salam al-Muradi. Not the other guys that was more smart than him, not the other guys that were more knowledgeable than him, the guy that couldn't understand a mas'ala how many times? 40 times one line. On top of that, the Kitab al-Umm, the Shaykh referred to, which is one of the first kitabs in fiqh, one of the first, by Imam al-Shafi'i, and had many other sciences, fiqh, hadith, a lot of things. From the people who compiled it also is who? Rabi' Salam al-Muradi. So, from the usul al-fiqh and fiqh aspect, the guy who, you can say somewhat helped protect, one of the biggest protectors of Shafi'i was it, Rabi' Salam al-Muradi, a man who didn't understand. So that question goes back to you guys. If a person thinks, okay, I don't know too much, I'm starting seeking knowledge late, or my memorization is not the best, or I barely know Arabic. They never made excuses. So why would we make? We make excuses. And the second thing I want to say, I'll just mention this actually before I mention that. The Sheikh mentioned that when it comes to manuscripts, Minhaj al-Talibin has one of the most shuruh, the most commentaries, and Minhaj al-Talibin is the main kitab for the fiqh Shafi'i. I remember meeting a sheikh from Dagestan, Sheikh Abu Bakr Sheikhi, who did tahqiq of Tuhfat al-Muhtaj, one of the best edits. And me and one of the brothers ended up meeting him, and I'm going to say a funny story, so I don't want to mention the brother's name. The sheikh that did or edited that kitab, he mentioned that we compared the sharh Tuhfat al-Muhtaj, which is a sharh of Minhaj al-Talibin, and we compared it with 28 hawashi, 28 commentaries that we had of Tuhfat al-Muhtaj in Dagestan. Think about that. We're talking about Russia. Russians had 28 hawashi commentaries, not on Minhaj al-Talibin, the explanation of Minhaj al-Talibin. Why am I mentioning this? Imam al-Nawawi wrote this kitab, and as the Sheikh mentioned, at one point he wanted to what? Throw it away. Because of his intentions. And this is one of the biggest advice for all of us. Whatever you do in life, purify your intentions. If a person does something for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal will put barakah in his thing. When it comes to basic books for hadith, the number one book is what? What's the number one book when it comes to basic book of hadith? Arba'un an-Nawawiyya. Everybody knows it. When it comes to books on hadith books, when it comes to even beyond the basic books, you have Riyadh al-Salihin. Everybody knows Riyadh al-Salihin. When it comes to fiqh, the most important fiqh book when it comes to Shafi'i madhab, or one of the most, is Minhaj al-Talibin. When it comes to explanations of the kutub, Sahih Muslim, which is the second most authentic book of hadith, the top explanations by who? Imam Nawawi, Minhaj Sharh Muslim. When it comes to adhkar, books on adhkar, collecting the dua for this, dua for that, the number one book, or one of the most important books, are Kitab al-Adhkar by Imam al-Nawawi. Any subject that he touched, he ended up becoming the best, and he only died at the age of what? 43, 44, early 40s. Allah Azza wa Jal put barakah. So with the right intention, Allah Azza wa Jal will put barakah in your ilm, Allah Azza wa Jal will put barakah in your life, Allah Azza wa Jal will put barakah in your wealth, and Allah Azza wa Jal will allow you to continue whatever khayr that you're doing. The last thing I want to finish off with is history of the madhab, and knowing that, learning your history. The Sha'ari, he once said, "Man wa'a at-tarikha fi sadrihi adaf a'maran ila umrihi." Whoever learns history, he increases what? In his age? He increases years in his age. The person that knows about today, and the person that knows about yesterday, is not going to be the same. The person who knows about today only, this happened, that, versus the person who knows 10 years back, 100 years back, 500 years back, centuries back, looks back at the qasas, looks back at the stories that were mentioned, can see certain things that say, we got to watch out for this. It can be repeated. It allows you to see what's about to happen. What do you say yesterday? Nika, the wise man is the one that what? Can see something coming. The smart man is the one that can know what to do today. But the wise person is what? What's about to happen? Oh, we got to watch out for this. We got to stay away from this. And that can only happen when you learn your tariq. When you learn your tariq, you get motivation. One of the biggest things that can help people get motivated is looking at a man and looking at his biography and learning from it and say, how can I implement this? Or seeing the struggles that he went through, how can I ever complain? Forget long biographies. Me and the Sheikh and a couple of brothers we visited, Sheikh Alawi, a Sheikh that lives here in Minnesota. He's above the age of 80. His memory is amazing. MashaAllah, everything is amazing. And he told us about when he was seeking knowledge. He was a student at the University of Jamaat al-Imam, which is in Riyadh. He went there, 1956 was it? 1958. Before Jamaat al-Madina was even a thing. Did he go there with the first class, or was it economy, or was he complaining, I got economy? Was he complaining they gave me a bad seat? How do you think he went there?
Bus number 11, we call it.
Bus number 11. The Sheikh went there walking from his city all the way to the water, from the Red Sea all the way to Yemen, and from Yemen all the way to Jeddah, to Mecca, all the way to Riyadh. Walking. Imagine, not on a car, not on a donkey, not on a camel, walking. Not only was he walking, he told us halfway there, one brother caught him and all of a sudden finessed him. Him and 3 guys. What did he do? There's different types of thieves. Smart thieves and dumb thieves. This guy was a professional thief. He made himself comfortable. Sheikh, you want to go to Imam? I'm going to take you to Imam. You want food? I was like, we got the food for you. You want this? Everything. He said that for him. So what did he do? He didn't steal something from them the first day. He was traveling with them for 3 days. He started leaving stuff there, acting like we're comfortable. I'll leave my phone with you. Yeah, this guy's not going to steal. I'm going to. Day 3, in the middle of the night, after they ate and they were full, he took their money. He said, I'm gonna do sarf. I'm change it from this currency to this currency. It's gone. The guy that told him he ran, he said, even though it was midnight, he said he didn't even walk away. He ran away. And imagine halfway through, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet, there's no WhatsApp, there's no Hoy, send this money to Hawal, Abba, help me with this, bro, help me with that. SubhanAllah. So when you see this, what is it? How could you ever complain? I don't want to go to Egypt, and it's like too much dust. I don't want to go to Medina, man. They don't have Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out, and I don't want to go there. People are complaining. Like these guys, they had to go through different struggles. Am I able to find my brother again? Am I going towards the right direction or away from the right direction? Am I able to do tahara? How am I going to eat food? Do I have enough energy? Is this water bottle enough for me to go to Mecca? But where's our complaints? Yeah, bro, flight's too long. I'm just going to stay in Minnesota. You find ilm anywhere. La ilaha illallah. The himma became what? Himma became low. I'm going to wrap it up with a funny story. The funny story was the Sheikh that we mentioned, Abu Bakr al-Shaykhi. He was talking to us, and then as he was talking to us, he said, I want you guys, both of you guys, to write a paper, say, give me a nasiha. This is the Sheikh that edited the biggest, one of the most important shuruh in Hajj Talibin, put in so much work. He said, give me a reminder or even a letter or anything. So we both of us wrote something. Afterwards, he got the paper, and before we left, he went to one of us, took a piece of our hair, and he said, this is for memories. And like we said, what did you say? He said, this is for memory. I'm going to remember you guys. Barakallah feek. We said, Sheikh, is this for memories or something else? No, it's for memories. First time I've seen that. I said, Sheikh, is this known in Dagestan? No, it's not known in Dagestan. This is for memories. The whole day we were wondering. We said, if we leave right now, thinking this guy just took our hair, or if it's normal, questioning, forgot about the whole reminder the Sheikh gave us, 30 minutes or 40 minutes. One reason why I mentioned that is, when you travel, the same way we said when you learn history, the same way you learn wisdom is when you travel, you see what? Funny stories and funny things. So if you're complaining about a flight, if you're complaining about dust, you can't learn different cultures, nor can you learn ilm, and all you're going to be is what? Complacent. The only thing you're going to know is Philly's here, and Minneapolis here, and today's sunny, today's rainy, and this is what's cool in Minnesota, that's what's cool in Minnesota, not even knowing what happens in the next state. Some people are pulling hairs, and other people, there it is, typing on the keyboards and the internet. So inshallah, hopefully, this can motivate us to do more khair.